What is going on there, everyone? Well, a couple morning headlines I'd like to talk about. They all wrap around each other, and they are all very, very good for us Republicans and us conservatives. Let's get straight into it just because it's wonderful and it should make all of us happy. Washington Post reporter tells CNN, Democrats getting cold feet as public turns against impeachment. Well, I don't know. From the ratings and everything, it doesn't seem that many of you were watching, and I don't blame you. It was 2 weeks of just, ugh. That was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch. That took up more time than I could have ever imagined. And got nowhere. All they did was reaffirm that none of these witnesses saw a crime being committed. They just didn't like what the president was doing. Understandable. I get that. He does set foreign policy, though, so he can do a lot under that, under his protections and all this. He can do a lot. I mean, come on. When it comes to the Ukraine, if you really want to talk about a president who was being shady and all this, let's just go back to the last president. The Obama administration was real weird about how they dealt with Ukrainian policy. But I digress. Let's just get straight into the article here. During an Inside Politics panel discussion about the impeachment inquiry, Bade said that the House Republicans have turned the tables on their Democratic colleagues. She said the Democrats in swing districts are feeling pressure from anti-impeachment ads being run in their districts. Quote, I think we're starting to see is when the impeachment inquiry was first announced and they started to do these depositions, a lot of people were asking, can Speaker Nancy Pelosi peel off any Republicans in this final impeachment vote, she said. I think we all know the answer to that, especially after these depositions, that the answer is going to be a resounding no. Even the ones that were on the fence, the Republicans that were like, I'm going to wait and listen to the evidence, well, they did. And guess what? Especially Mr. Hurd. He was one of the congressmen that the Democrats thought they could peel away. No, because y'all's arguments are nonsensical and just not there. Sorry. But I think increasingly the question is becoming, does she lose more Democrats? Because Republicans have really sort of unified behind the president. And although 2 Democrats voted against the impeachment inquiry rules that they voted on a couple weeks ago, we are hearing behind the scenes that there are more moderates who are getting cold feet. And yes, this is happening. It's not even just these moderates that are up there on Capitol Hill that are getting cold feet. I've been going around talking to people. I've been talking to Democrats who are saying, you know what? He's not impeachable when it comes to this Ukrainian situation. It's just not an impeachable situation. So and those are from, I would say, moderately hard-lined Democrats. And if they're even coming out to me and saying, hey, I don't think this is looking good for the Democrats, well, then obviously it's not looking good for the Democrats. It's your own party telling you, hey, I think we jumped the gun on this. By a long shot. Pelosi, a California Democrat, need I say more, in September announced an impeachment inquiry into whether Trump abused his power by pressuring Ukraine to investigate allegations of corruption by Democrats. In October, Democrats voted on rules of the process, which is winding down after a series of hearings. What Rachel Bade knows and Democrats won't admit. Bade's reporting comes as recent surveys showed public support for impeachment falling below 50% nationwide. After the first week of public impeachment hearings, support for impeaching Trump was down 4 points from 47% in mid-October, according to YouGov. It's very, very interesting. Polling in several swing states found particularly strong opposition to impeachment among voters who would likely determine the 2020 presidential election. A New York Times Siena College Battlegrounds poll released Wednesday determined that majorities in Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Florida oppose removing the president from office through impeachment. Majorities or pluralities were found to support an investigation of Trump, though. And I, as a Trump supporter, support investigations. Because you know what? Investigations are a good thing for everybody. Especially for the president when they come out and show that there is either a complete lack of any real investigation or if it's just political posturing. It's all these investigations have done nothing but help Trump. Russia, kaput, helped Trump. Ukraine, kaput, helped Trump. Y'all lefties just aren't getting it. You're not getting it, man. However, when CNN anchor Jake Tapper pointed out the swing state trend to House Intelligence Committee Chairman Representative Adam Schiff of California, imagine that. California. You really know how to make some really just absolutely awful people and politicians. On Sunday morning, the leader of the impeachment hearings denied reality. Of course. He claimed public support for impeachment has grown dramatically. Also, Sunday, Representative Eric Swalwell, a California Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. Do you see a pattern here? Do you see a trend? It seems like these Democrats from California are out of their minds and don't understand reality for what it is. Which would draft any articles of impeachment, told Fox News anchor Chris Wallace, "I'm not focused on the polls." Well, we all know Democrats love polls, especially when they're in their favor. They don't seem to like them when they're against them. But, alright, we got through that little story. Let's move over here to another poll. And what amazed me is who conducted the poll and the outcome they got. Because I didn't expect this type of outcome from this, but we'll get into it. Poll, independents flip on impeachment, now vastly opposed after first 2 weeks of public hearings. That's got to really be awful feeling for these Democrats up there in the House to know that everything they're doing is failing. Every time they try to go after Trump, it fails. Because they're going with their feelings. My feelings are hurt. This guy, he says naughty things and this, that, and the other. You got to stop thinking about your feelings. Come on, man. Who was it? Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about your feelings. They really don't. Independent voters are not nearly as concerned with impeaching Trump as politicians and media elites are, according to data collected by Politico and analyzed by Vanity Fair. Neither of which is a right-leaning institution. Politico, I've generally called them garbage many of times. Vanity Fair, I don't even deal with Vanity Fair, so I think I've been on their website one time just to fact check something, and that was it. So, yeah, I'm not using Vanity Fair much. After the first 2 weeks of public impeachment hearings, 62% of the surveyed independents claim the issue is more important to politicians than it is to me, while 61% answered the same way when asked about the media. Conversely, only 22% and 23% answered the respective questions in the negative. 62% don't even believe this is that important to them. And 61% don't even like the media. Yeah, that's something I think is clear. Furthermore, when asked to rank 11 issues as top priorities, impeachment placed last among independents, with just 27% ranking it as a top priority. For comparison, 74% selected the deficit, 72% selected healthcare, and 70% selected infrastructure spending. Well, imagine that. Those are the kitchen table issues right there. You know how the Democrats came out a couple months ago and said, we need to start talking about these kitchen table issues. Well, you're not, because you're still throwing out crazy policy that you want to do that would destroy the economy. Yeah. But as you can see, independents don't care, and independents are what the Democrats are banking on in this impeachment inquiry. And for 2020. So it's not looking good. The Democrats, y'all better turn your ship around or something, because I don't know what you're doing. It seems that a lot of Americans don't even know what you're doing anymore. pretty sad. Vanity Fair's data marks a drastic shift on the issues. In October, polling from Gallup found that 53% of independents supported removing Trump from office, while 44% opposed. A separate Morning Consultant poll conducted in November prior to the public impeachment hearings found that 49% of independents supported and 34% opposed Trump's removal. According to Gallup, independents make up 38% of the electorate in early November, a greater electorate than both Republicans and Democrats, which recorded 30 and 31% respectively. Wow. That right there, that to me is a little bit stunning. Republicans have 30% of the electorate, Democrats have 31% of the electorate, and independents make up 38%. No wonder everyone's trying so drastically hard to call in the independents. But what we're seeing here is the Democrats are failing to do just that. They're failing to do that in a big, big way. All because of this man right here. Or right there. Donald Trump. A brash, bombastic businessman who loves his country. Who I believe truly loves this country. There's certain things, certain moments that it's like, when you see it happen, it's like, whoa. This guy really does love the country. One of my favorite pictures I have hanging on the wall over here is a photograph of him hugging that flag. That's one of my favorite things I've ever seen a president do. A lot of people came out about that. Oh my God, he took the flag. Yeah, he did. But guess what? There ain't any patriot in the world that wouldn't hug that flag. Come on, man. That flag represents just amazingness. And you know, one of the problems with the left is they don't see that amazingness in that flag. As a matter of fact, they tried to get that flag taken down and burned and and replaced with whatever their activist flag for the week is. I mean, come on. People are getting sick of this left wave of nonsensical BS that keeps pounding everybody. I mean, just this weekend, trying to watch a nice freaking football game. Can't even watch a football game. Harvard-Yale. What happened during halftime? Climate activists run out on the field. And then the tribalism kicked in, so a bunch of other people ran up on the field too, and caused the game to be delayed by an hour. That's not how you win hearts and minds, people. All this activism, you're going about it the wrong way. Protesting and all that's not good. And with this political activism that we're seeing from the House Democrats and whatnot, and people like Nancy Pelosi and all that, that's all this is just another form of activism. You're ruining everything, and you're ruining your own party. And for once, I'm grateful for that. But this isn't a good thing, man. What we're going through as a country is not a good thing. When parties are this just horribly divided over nothing really, like in reality, there should be no reason for this big of a divide. I don't fully understand why there's this big of a divide, because I don't see it in my area, you know. I say this a lot. In my little local area of Central Virginia, you don't see this big left-right paradigm. When you get up north or closer to D.C. or even Charlottesville and stuff like that, then you start seeing the left-right paradigm pretty hard. Certain places in Richmond, you'll get it too. But the Democrats are failing. They're failing bad. And they're failing with the most important group of voters they can muster. And that's the independents. The polls are showing the numbers are bad. Numbers are bad for them. These people are going to be put off so bad by the nonsense that the Democratic Party's doing, that they're gonna end up biting their lip and voting for Trump. We saw it in 2016 with the Bernie Bros. Just despite the DNC for screwing them over. But the DNC's been screwing all y'all Democrats over for a long time. Because you can clearly see they don't care about who you want, it's who they want. Hence 2016. But as always, I'd love to hear your comments on this. And like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you on the flip side.